OT2. So we should go for this, right? We should go for this 2022. So we don't need to do. I'm sure everybody in this call right now can play around with what's it called? Where's my download? Can play around with create, update, and all those other, like create table, create database. So basically, let's just run down through this whole thing. The exam is going to be, at least the practical is going to be, you have your, you can see my screen, right? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see. Yeah.
Make it
Okay.
wider a bit. Sorry, it's too tiny.
I'm actually sharing my own screen, so I don't really understand
No, it's okay. It's okay.
this and this. Let me share this thing again. Stop sharing my entire screen. Yeah, just sharing my entire screen. So, yeah. So basically, the practical is going to be the first thing you have. Create your database. You know how to do that. Just create database, give it a name. Done. You're done. Don't forget to do use. There was one question I wanted to ask him, and I forgot, because basically, right, this is your, say this is what you want to submit. This was my solution for the 2022. So one thing I wanted to ask him was, do we need to actually add these two in our solution? I don't know if anybody has any answer to this. Create database, then use.
Well, I think the man is a principal guy, as we have seen him. So what we try to do our best in terms of following what he has been telling us. I think just to be on the safe side. That I mean, personally, that's what I will try to do. So I don't know.
Yeah. Because the reason why I'm asking is they might actually not look at what you've written the code. They might just run the code, and if this is an issue, but I think it should be there. I'll send him a mail after this call and confirm that and update the group. But I think it should be there. So basically, everybody can create. So the first thing you want to have is okay. Let's go through it. This. I don't know why this thing shows like this in my.
Because it's a note. You open that in a note, not on a.
Okay, let me use this thing. Slides. Is this slides or document? Okay, it's normal docs. Okay. Open, upload. Okay. Yeah. So I think this should be the whole thing. So the first thing is you're creating your database. So blah 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 blah. Create a database, then create the tables. We know how to play around with data types and stuff like that. One thing to note here is constraints. The check constraints. This is very easy. You can easily ignore these things. Now look at the handicap, for example. I think let's just read through the question. So club contains the following details of each golf club in the association, a unique code of the form. So this, for instance, right now, should have a check constraint. So I don't know if I even added mine. Yep, yeah, this is it. So it's telling you it should be in the form of something. So this is a check constraint. Make sure you add it. You won't really fail because of this, but you could add 1 or 2 marks and probably bump you from B to A. So that's why these things are necessary. So the name of the club, yeah, just 2 fields, club ID and name of club. So the only check constraint here is the club ID. Then course contains the following details: a 3 unique letter code. So this is just enter, no check. The name of the course, the course for the club that manages, the code for the club that manages the course, the pass score. This is expected score for the good golfer. Note that each course is managed by a single club, but clubs may manage more than 1 course. Yeah, so basically I hope we also know how to deal with foreign key. So their relations. Player contains the following details: a unique player ID in the form of something. So this is also a check constraint, right? This is a check. Yeah, this is it. That's also a check constraint. You're checking something. The player name, the code for the player. Each player is a member of exactly 1 club. And this is also another check constraint. The player handicap, a number between 0 and 24. So we want to make sure they don't enter -1 or 25. So this is also a check constraint too. You make sure you add that to between 0 and 24.
Yeah. Anthony.
Yep.
Just a quick question there. I've noticed you have both check, but there's a very specific words that you have used. There's a like and between 0. So this one is also acceptable way of writing that check, because sometimes you put there are very specific wording in when you do the check. That's my first. And the second question is it really important in adding the delete cascade and update cascade, and where do you add that specifically? Thank you.
Okay, great. For the first question, the keywords here, basically dates are the same. Probably when we get to where we will see something like this. These are the same keywords you used for your where clause in query, right? You want to say, okay, give me all the player that their name starts with T. So this is what you use: player, where player name like T, then the T here, although for query it will be T this, right? Starts with T, so T percentage. So it's just like these keywords are the same keywords you use in query, depending on what you're expected to do. In the first one, they are telling you, they are giving you something like a regex, right? You have P, then you have 3 numbers in front of it. So that's like, it should look like P. So what they are saying is your player ID should look like P, then a digit, another digit, another digit. But it's a bit different from this. I understand this is actually new. We've not really been seeing this on much in the previous exercise, but this is a bit new. And where player handicap, a number between 0 and 24. So if you try to use like for this, it might cause a bit of an issue. So, but there is a keyword that does that one. So when you are trying to check something between even between dates, you can use something like this. Between, like you are trying to compare 2 numbers, then use between 0 and 24, 0 and 25, or anything you're trying to do. There are a couple of them, I think. Let me see. SQL.
Anthony, I also have a question.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah. On the course, you said the course doesn't have a check there. if you can revisit it and check, I think there's supposed to be a check on the course now.
Oh,
Because
I'm
it-
just saying I can't remember. Okay, let me not say it's not there. No, we've done check.
On the
There's
course,
check,
on the course.
there's check in the course. I'm talking of this between. I don't think we've been seeing between much in the previous exercises.
Yes, because in your own code here, you don't have check on the course. So
Sorry?
I think in your own code, your own code, you didn't check the course. You don't have your own check constraints on the course.
Yeah, I don't think that's required because if you go to course, this is a unique 3-letter.
Yeah.
A 3-letter code, the name of the course. There's actually no constraint on this thing. The 3 letters already being taken care of by this NCHR3.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not like everything must have a check. It is a particular, they will tell you, will see, they won't actually tell you it's a check, but you will see that, okay, they are trying to constrain something here. They are trying to say it must start with CB. They are trying to say it must not be more than, it must be between 0 and 24. But once you see things like this, unique 3-letter, they are just talking of your normal data type. You get this one too, it has its normal data type. You can see that, okay, if you count this, it must follow this pattern CB plus another 2 digits. That's 4. So that means your data type is NCHR4. But because it gave you the way it must look, then you have to write a check for it to look this way. Because if you don't write the check, then you can enter anything into this field. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Anthony, sorry, but
Yeah.
what if you decided to put a check on the cost table? So what will happen?
Okay. What check do you want to put? That's the first thing. Let me not say it's good or it's not.
So since it is 3-digit number, 0 to 9, 0 to 9, 0 to 9.
Not 3-digit number, 3-letter code.
Okay, 3-letter code.
Yeah. So what do you want to put as your check?
Sorry, let me come in. If we're using a 3-letter code, then the check will be A to Z,
A to Z,
A to Z, A to Z, because it's a letter. So the person cannot input a number. It must be anything between A to Z.
Before we actually answer that question, right?
You said what?
I get your point, but before we answer this question, you would notice something here. Let me show you something.
That check's actually causing problem. Most of it.
Let me show you. There's a clause here for understanding what to do there. Blah 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 blah. I'm coming on. There is a place it says check the data to know what to actually do. So now that we have issues with courses, what you can just do is go to courses, check the data, and you can see that it's actually letter. So that's fine. That actually makes sense. Then we can easily say, okay, we can actually add the check for course as my own mistake right now. So we can easily add a check for course.
A to Z.
A to Z.
A to Z. One thing is, even me, I'm not sure of this A to Z because we need to make.
Did he provide it in the solution for this? We can also check.
If you check the notes in week 3, the lecture notes in week 3, where he was talking about how to use like, you will see a place, you will see a column where he also said something. This is like a set, right? That can be between, like when you're trying to list for letters and you're trying to list for numbers. You understand? So for numbers, it should be anything between 0 to 1. Then for letters, it should be anything between A to Z.
Oh, my question is, right now, there are 2 different kind of A to Z. There's capital letter A to Z, there's small letter A to Z. So that's one thing I'm trying to find out how to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just.
And we can check the course and see.
I don't
yes, it's capital letter.
Capital letter. So it should be capital letter A to Z.
Yes.
Because the data type, they're all in caps.
Yeah. So that actually answers the question. I was just trying to find out. That was me trying to learn something. I was trying to find out how to actually do it if you actually want it that. But once our data example, where is it? There it is. So once it's capital letter, we could just close that that says it's capital letter, right? I was just trying to find out if you want to use both, how do you do that? But you can always find that. So if you are stuck with that, just go and check the sample data and see. So if this is small letter, then your stuff here will be small letter. If it's capital letter, then your stuff will be capital letter. So you don't need to worry about that. The problem comes when you have capital and small letter, but I don't think we have something like that. That's what I'm trying to find out about. I don't think that would be an issue in the exam. So yeah, so this also as a check. I was the one that did not read that question. Right. Thank you for catching that. So
sorry, Anton, there's a hand. I think someone wants to ask a question or something. If you could please check. Thank you.
Okay. If you want to ask a question, you can just ask, right? You can just, I think Nisa is, yes, seen. Do you have a question? Sorry, when you just have a question, you can just interrupt me when you have a question. This is let's make it interactive. It's not really like I'm teaching today. It's just question and answer. Everybody learn. So yeah, 3-letter. Yunus, your last question, I think I forgot. I know there was 2 questions.
Yes, my last one was about the when you put the delete cascade on the foreign.
Okay.
Yes.
Cascade. Now these the reason for this are for data integrity, right? So basically, right now you are saying you have club ID here. Let's say you have a club called Manchester. Their ID is 12. Then you have a course that has club ID. If you delete that Manchester, what should happen to the data that is carrying the ID of Manchester? That is where this thing comes in. This on delete and on update. So you are saying on delete cascade, on update cascade. Cascade means if you delete the parent data, the child data should be deleted. So if you delete the course Manchester, the club Manchester, then every course that belongs to Manchester will also be deleted. That is what cascade does. You get that point, right?
Yes, that one is clear. So now the question is, every single time there's a foreign key, we have to add that, or there's a specific way to add that, not for every foreign key. And just in case this man, well, so the trick to understand the delete cascade is you do it on the foreign key, and you have to add it, or you don't have necessary to add it.
You don't, it's an instruction, right? Now, there are other options for this cascade. There's not null, there is, I think set null. There is, I think there are 3, but cascade is what we'll be using. So basically, it's not compulsory, but for the purpose of data integrity, you can see that it's always been in everything we've been doing. For the purpose of data integrity, it's always good to have it. If you don't put it, it might be -1 in your mark.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think it's clear. So we have it, we put it, and we just put it on the foreign, every foreign key, right?
Every foreign key cites some conditions, right? But one thing I will say is put it on everything. Run your code, because that was what I did here. Run your code. When I was writing this one, I just blindly wrote on delete, on update, but it didn't work. So run your code, put it every foreign key you have, run your code, then it will tell you which one. Something like this one, it causes a cyclic update. So you are using both the player ID and the course ID to do something, and there is no. So if I add on, delete, on, update to this thing, courses is cyclic. So you are saying if I update this page to update rand, if I update rand once. So I don't know how to explain, but it causes a cyclic. So you update your player, rant update, because rant update, player updates back. So there is a kind of cyclic stuff that happens when you add this, but basically when you put it, it won't even run. It will throw you an error and it will show you what is causing the error. So one thing I can do is, let's actually do this. Update. Yeah, so
okay. I also noticed you didn't put it for the rounds, but that's fine.
That's what I want to show now. If I add it here, it tells you there will be a cyclic kind of. So I'll just add it here. No. Okay, so let's run this thing. So do club, do course, invalid column name, player ID. Okay, we need to do player first. Interesting. Oh no, I did a copy and paste. Remind me. CK course ID. CK. Be mindful of copy and paste in the exam hall. I think I've been doing this thing for a while and it's not good. Course ID, right? So yeah, that's good. Yep. Player ID. One thing you need to note here also is it does it a lot, Rob. It will not arrange the questions accordingly. If you look at these questions, for instance, the first thing it's telling you to do is do club, do course, do player. Okay, this is actually accordingly. We have seen, I think, for the mock, it wasn't arranged properly. So you have, so if player is somewhere, let's say, according to his arrangement, he did club, player, course. You can't do it like that because player is dependent on okay, it's not dependent on course actually. Okay, let's say you have player at the top, then you have player, club, course. Player is dependent on club, which means if club is not created, player cannot be created. So you need to understand what you are doing and arrange it properly. I hope it doesn't come that way, but if it comes,
so in other words, whatever you are referencing from should come from first.
Should come first. So you can see we are referencing
Club.
ID here, which means club ID should be at the top. We are referencing.
But Anthony, sorry. What about if you do it accordingly, and but you did not but you did not execute it? You understand? And you do it according to the questions, and later you not execute.
It's better to write them accordingly, because this code, for instance, I can just run this file at once, and I think that is what they will do. They will just copy everything you have here, down, run everything. They won't have the time to be highlighting one by one and be executing for you. They will just copy everything, paste it, run. If it runs, fine. If it doesn't run, then you have a problem. Then they can start reading your code. You get? So it's better you arrange it accordingly and make sure it can run once. So one thing I plan to do in the exam hall is, once I'm done with everything I'm doing, I'll delete the database and just click on execute, bam, once, see if it actually works. I don't know if that makes sense. So if you finish your work, you delete the database, you click on execute, and it's throwing error for you. That might be like -2 marks or -3 marks.
Sorry, you will delete the database.
Yeah, you can drop the database, right? To drop your database, right? Once you're done, you can do something like this. Change your database to master. So use master.
Anton, I think you should put a disclaimer. I think that is for experts. If you're like me, you don't know what you're doing, please avoid it.
Yeah, I was just trying to answer his question. Don't necessarily do this, but if you think you can, it's good to do, right? Don't necessarily do this, but one thing to answer your question plainly, arrange it accordingly.
Okay.
Make sure you arrange it accordingly. Don't follow what as a study each of the tables and see which one should come first, which one should come second. Yeah.
Okay.
So okay, let's just do this. Yeah, so I think I've done player. Let's do rant. Yeah, so you can see what I'm getting. So basically, this tells you what you need to do. Introduce a foreign key constraints, blah, 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 on rants may cause a cycle or multiple cascade. Specify on blah, 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 blah. Could not create constraint on index. So basically, you know, your constraints here are will cause issue. You can see every other one is not showing error, but the ones that will give you error, you will know. So basically, to answer your question, add the constraint to everything you get. Then when you're running them one by one, the one that needs to be taken out will be notified here.
Okay.
Anthony, I don't understand. What did you? Could you repeat yourself again?
This right here, right? This one right here is causing a cycle in the sense that if you update, if you delete, let's say update, for instance, if you delete your course, if you update your course, it updates because I'm using the 2 as the primary key. So it makes an update here, then still goes back, makes an update on player and course at the same time. Still, so it keeps going in circle, updating everything. You update course update rand update course goes back to update rand forever. So it goes in cycle because you are telling it, you are already saying there should be an update here. You are also updating player on, sorry, you are updating club. Okay, these are just clubs. So this particular constraint here is causing a cycle. It's causing an unending cycle. I don't know if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, it does. So you want to take it out?
Yeah, it's causing an unending cycle. If you don't want to take it out, then you can add no action. This was the third thing I was trying to remember earlier. You can just tell it not to do anything. I don't know if you get, but I think this is actually update. Let's take our update. Delete should work fine. Update. Let's do that again. Now it's still not working. So basically the two is not update.
This is update.
Sorry? Yeah, the two are not working. So they need to go, or but it's actually better to not put anything, so you could just do the default. There is all these things as default. So that was why I took it off. I'm not sure if this two will peak. Yeah, that works. So, but it's better to just leave it blank so the update can easily kick in. Sorry, the default can easily kick in instead of you telling it to do something. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, let's remove it.
Okay.
I think I got it. I understand now. You can try to put it, and if it doesn't run, and then you just delete it. It's a way to identify.
If I can go into what is going on underneath, but I'm just trying to give something that will help in the exam or tomorrow. Put it in everything.
Okay.
Right? Then run your code one by one. Then anyone that is throwing an error, read the error, see if you can understand it. If you can't understand it, it's actually understandable, right? Because if you just say you are taking something out that you are not supposed to take out, then there is an issue. Let me bring it back. Drop. Is it drop table?
Drop table.
Drop table runs. Yeah. So you need to read, don't just take things out. You need to read this error message to know what is going on. You don't necessarily need to understand, but once you start seeing something that looks like what you have, this is on delete, this is on delete,
Okay.
update, then you know this is what is causing the issue. You might be talking of something else. You might be talking, maybe you put something that is not correct here. This is the error you will get, not an update. So don't just say because you see any red thing here, you are taking out the on delete. I did not say that too. I didn't say that. You can see the error is different.
Anthony,
Yeah.
I think that you should look at score. Score is having S in int.
Yeah, I
Data
just
type.
added that now. I just added that now to show that it's not
Okay.
all errors that you used to
All
take
right.
out.
All
So when you read this one, cannot find data type 8, don't go and take out this cascade. This is what it's talking about. I hope you understand that part. Yeah, I'm just trying to cover all bases. I know I've said that taking it out is a strong word. I don't want people to make that mistake in the exam or tomorrow. So, yeah. So,
Anthony, do we need to put comma at the back of this last constraint? That foreign key last constraint.
the last, if you put a comma behind the last one, I don't think it will. Let me confirm. I'm not sure. Let's take it off for a minute. Drop table runs. It's not necessary, but I want to know if it will actually throw error. No, it actually works.
It works.
It
Because
works.
I believe the last closing bracket is the last this thing there. So this one is just like a continuation. So that's why I said we need to put bracket comma there.
We don't need to. I don't even understand why it worked. It wasn't supposed to work, but
It's not supposed to work.
Why? Why?
Code convention, because it's
What's
the
not
last.
supposed to work?
Because we still have a bracket as a last thing after this.
This bracket. See, it's like an array. If you go back to this thing, if you go back to Java, right? When you are dealing with array, you have something like this. Tony, right? Sammy, right? You don't need a comma if that is the last thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, I know. But
same
yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, this is still a list, right? This is the first thing in the list. This is the second list. This is the last thing in the list.
But from the beginning here, from the create table rounds, we have an open bracket there. You understand?
This open bracket is something like this. Is this bracket? That first bracket, this first bracket, is the same. Sorry, is the same. Where am I? Is the same thing as this bracket. So it's different from all these other ones. I did not tell you to do that. It's different. This bracket is different from. Can you stop doing that? This bracket, this one that opens here and closed here, is different from all these other ones inside. This bracket is only meant for this line. This bracket is only for this line. So this whole thing that I highlighted is just in the sense of a list, for instance. It's just one word. Forget the bracket, forget everything. Right? It's just one word, one entity. Does that make sense? This whole thing like this whole thing is another entity. So this is just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if they tell you how many things are inside the rand, there are 6 because everything between this bracket and this bracket is 6. So that was what makes this the last one. Like you see, this will actually run. But if they are looking at code convention and code correctness, they might deduct -1 for that bracket. I'm sorry, for that comma that you want to add.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't do it because it works. Do it because it's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Let's go back to the. I think we are done with all these ones. Then you have all tables should be well designed. Blah 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 blah. We've done that. The association also wants to record scores for a competition. In this competition, player may play as many courses. Do we all understand this? I know this could be a bit complicated, but do we all understand this part? The association wants to record scores for a competition. In this competition, players may play as many courses as they like, but can only play any course once. Design and create a table called rants to contain scores. The table should follow the principle of good design. Do we all understand what this is talking about?
It's looking like
Yes.
it's looking like a heart stopping stable.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Heart stopping stable. Exactly. It's a combination of multiple tables.
Yeah.
Like a many to one, one to many kind of relationship.
Relationship, exactly.
It's a many to many, right? Because if you look at, let's see, draw.io. Down to say, yep. Can you answer me? So if you look at it, it will be something like this in the sense that is actually a joining table. It's not even a normal table. So it's something. I just remove that.
It's like a fact table where all of them just come together.
Aha. So this is like, it's something like this. So this is your rant. This is your course. And this is your player. So your player has many rants. Is that the case? No. The association wants to record. So in the competition, player can play as many courses as they like, but can only play at any course once. How did we do that? Yeah, actually. Yeah, so it's still something like this. It's this statement that will cause issue. Well, we still fix it, but can only play any course once. So basically, without this clause here, what I would have done is have a rant ID, then a course ID, then a player ID. My rant ID will be the primary key, the course ID and the player ID will be set foreign key, and that's it. But because of this constraint, but can only play any course once, then we say we don't want to see the player play multiple courses. So we can only have player one playing in Aberdeen, player one playing in Sterling. So we can't have player one playing in Aberdeen twice. So for you to do that, just to make sure, there are other ways you can write that. You can just say, okay, I want to make a composite key. And what's a primary key, for instance? A primary key is a key that you can't replicate. It's unique. So if I have Aberdeen, I can't have two Aberdeens. So if you had said course ID here, then that means we can only have one player playing in Aberdeen, right? But because you are bringing the two, you are making sure that player one and course one cannot repeat. But we can have player one course one, player two course one, player three course one. I don't know if that makes sense. But you can't have player one course one at the same time. It won't enter because We can't have 1, 1 twice in the table, but you can have 1, 2. You can have 1, 3, 1, 4. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, what this constraint will do for us is it will help us solve this, but cannot play any course one. So basically, if I, with this right now, I can have something like 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, right? 2, 2.
You know they say anything. No. Okay, Alicia, sorry.
Sorry?
I can see it now. I wasn't saying what you were doing before.
Oh, okay. But you cannot have 1, 1 twice. You can't have 1, 1 twice. Well, you can have every other variation. You can't have 1, 2 twice. You can't have 1, 2 because you already have it before. If you try to enter this again, then it causes an issue. You say that solves our issue. The player cannot play at the same course more than once. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's the whole reason for the composite, for this composite key here, using player ID and course ID for our primary key, so that we don't have the player playing in the same course twice. Then you bring in your foreign key. I don't think there's any constraint on that. Yep, so that's it. You bring in your score, which is an int, and that's it. Then you do your insert everything. Then let's go to the query. Now, for each round played at a course with links in its name. So basically, the first thing when things is as complicated as this, take it one line at a time. You can read everything at once for the first time. For each round played at a course with links in its name, the query should return the player's name, the name of the course, the score, and the net score. The first thing you want to do is write your basic query. I think I said I wanted to do something earlier, so I will do it. Some of us have been having issues with query. So I think we started querying lab. Lab, what is that? Hold on, why am I saying lab 5? Okay, yeah. So we started queries somewhere around lab, let me see, lab 2.
Lab 3.
Okay.
Lab 2.
Is it 2 or 3? Let's
I think it's 2.
Lab 2 is in Sato.
So this is 2. Yeah, this is select. So might not be much, but it's here. So this is select, right? But this is star. When you are dealing with star, you mean you want to get everything. This is the one we want. This is the one we want. Select something, something, something from something where. Then if you want to do other also. Let me see if we have more. Well, that's it. And also let's see join table. Do we have join table? One other thing I think I wanted to talk about. I see people using join query. Okay, this is where we're coming to. I see people using join query. It's correct. It's fine. I think that's mostly with our BI colleagues. They've been learning some advanced stuff in their classes, and they are bringing it to this course. It's correct, but before you use it, make sure you know how to use it very well. Before you use it, it's very correct. I don't think they will deduct your mark for using a joint query as long as it gives the correct answers. But before you use it, make sure you know how to use it. If you are not sure of it, stick with what Rob taught you and just do copy and paste for him. That is what I will do So basically, this is where we are coming, because for each round played at a course, return the player name and the name of the course. So you can see they are bringing multiple tables together. They are bringing in round, they are bringing in player, they are bringing in course. So you want a query that can give you multiple tables.
Involving multiple tables.
Yeah, multiple tables and also calculations. So this is a very good example of that. So we'll do copy and paste. But maybe you shouldn't do copy and paste. Let's
The
take
man said no do copy and paste. So
let's take it one by one. So let me arrange this thing. So for each round played at a course with links in its name, the query should return the player name, the course name, the score, and the net score. So you want to do select. Let's even start from line by line, like we said. So the first thing you want is select star from what? From round. So for each round played, the first table they are referencing here is round. So for each round, can you tell me why you're not typing round? Right, for each round played, the query.
Why can't you copy the questions instead of going front and back?
Thank you. Some of us are will do. Remind us.
Which don't know the carry us play that.
How do we write comments here, please?
Just type now. No, just copy and put now. Then you can just break the. You can just break the lines.
Like, how do you write comment? I want to put it as a comment. I forgot to.
Dash.
Forward
slash asterisk.
Asterisk.
Your comments, then asterisk and backslash.
Thank you. I'm also doing my own right.
You can also use double hyphen.
Sorry?
Gurus are talking.
We are good to go. Okay.
So for each round played at a course with links in its name, the query should return player name. So we know we are expecting player name. So you can do player dot name. Right? We're expecting the name of the course. So course dot name, I think. Is it name? Course dot name, yeah. Course dot name, comma. I think I'm using small letter. I don't think letter is stable. Let's just stick with it. Then the score. Where is the score coming from? The score is coming from
the rounds.
From rounds. So that's rounds. You actually don't need to put. Actually, you do, because when you start having things like name, then it becomes ambiguous. Then it tells you, okay, you need to specify which kind of name you want. So it's actually better to just put the table name behind each one of them. But for score, for instance, because score is only showing up on round, you can leave it as just score, but it's better to just have everything with their table name. It makes things cleaner. So since you have player, course, round, okay, there is one other one, the score and the net score. So we need net score. We don't know what net score is. The net score is calculated by subtracting the player's handicap from the original score. So you can have something like player dot handicap, subtracting player handicap. What am I doing? Player, and subtract the player handicap from the original score. So that's mathematics, original score minus player handicap. So that will be rant dot score minus player.
So that should be in bracket, but
I don't think it matters, but it could be in bracket as for code correction. It could be in bracket, but it will work fine as net score. Just for convention, we can put it in bracket. It will still work fine without bracket. From rands, and you need to bring in all the tables. So player cost rand. You can give it an alias, cost C player P, right? So the first thing you need to do when you are joining multiple tables like this is to find a way to also join their where. So we know that rand has player and cost, so we can easily use rand to join everything together. So we can say rand dot, because one thing I think he's planning to do here is if you add tables, I think I asked him one day, if you add tables that are not required here, if you go to this, to the check thing, it says the create script runs, not this one, both queries returns. There's no obvious inefficiency. So basically, this is one thing that will distinguish the person that gets B from A. When you start adding, just because you don't know what to put, you put rand, you put cost, you put player, you put club. Once you put that club, you are not getting A. I don't know if that makes sense, because because club is actually not necessary. Club is not something we need here. So when you are writing your query, make sure you are not adding unnecessary stuffs in your query. They asked for name, score, and handicap. If you put course ID inside this query here, you will not get A in this particular section. So note that where r dot course ID equals c dot course ID, course ID, and r dot player ID equals p dot player ID. So with this, we've been able to join all the tables together. We have our rand, our course, and our player in the where class. Then we need to go ahead. For example, a player who plays 77 and a handicap of 6. Yeah, I think that's actually everything. But that we've missed at the top here. For rand played at a course with links in its name. So another query, and course dot name, like they didn't just say equals links, they say with link. So there is probability for link to be anywhere in the name, and they didn't say start with links. They didn't start with links, they didn't say end with links. So that would decide how we write our query here, like percentage likes, links percentage, because they said for each round played at a course with links in its name. So if they said start with links, all we need to do is, we won't need this, starts with links, then anything can be in front. If they say end with links, we can put this, take this off. So we are saying anything can be at the front, but it must end with links. But if they say anywhere, like links in the name, we don't know whether it's in the front or in the back or at the middle. We just know there's links there. Then we just need to add the wildcard everywhere in the clause. And I think that gives us what we want. Let me load this data so we can try it out. Execute. Right. Really?
How can you break this your code now? Just too long.
Oh my God. It's okay. Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good. So they're saying the multi-part identifier, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Now, why are we getting this? Because we're doing, no.
Remove the C. Those alias, those letters in front of the tables for from.
Because they're not declared before now.
No. Leave those ones at the top. In the front line, remove the R and the C.
Yeah,
it should
but
go.
Yeah, it will still cause an issue because okay, hold on. I actually make series of errors.
Sure, you see, it's either you.
So I could do this.
It will work this way.
Exactly.
You have to be consistent.
Yeah.
You don't use alias or you use alias. If you use alias, then everywhere you are using the alias.
It must be consistent.
Exactly. If you don't use it, then it's fine. So basically, you have your stuff. But I wrote this because I knew what I was doing. If you don't know what you are doing, you can do it in process. You don't have to write it once. You can see how long it took me to write it. You can write it in process. Now, let's take it one by one. For each round played at a course with links in its name. So you already have select, let's just say star from rounds. That's where it starts. Do that one first, so that you get something. Seriously. Then with links in the name. So you want to do something like where course dot name, like links, right? We add the stuff. So this will immediately tell you something is wrong. Course.name could not be found. So you know you need to add course here. Although this could easily go wrong, but yeah, you are still getting something, but it's still not what you want, right? So the query should return the player name. So you want to go back here and say player dot name, right? The name of the course dot name. The score is coming from, check where the score is coming from. It's coming from ranks. So ranks dot course, right? And the net score is subtracting handicap from original. So original, what is original? Ranks dot score minus player dot handicap, right? As net. Even if you don't, you can still run it to still.
Anthony, that one is it round dot cost or round dot cost?
Dot score. The set score.
The one before that one, rounds dot cost. Is this supposed to be cost?
Oh, score. Thank you. Score. Right. So
the linking of this dot this, then where we're linking it documents equal to where we're linking it.
Okay. So if you run this, let's just say it's good to have errors, right? So it's telling you something we don't know where player.name is coming from. That tells you there's no player in your form. So player, run it again. Then yeah, it's looking for him, but this is telling us no column name. Let's fix that as net score, right? Yeah. So, but we are getting things we don't want. We are getting things multiple times, right? So to fix that, we just add the joining query. So where ranks dot, like we just want to fix getting these stuffs multiple times. So we just do it where this is this and stuff like that. So where runs dot what? Runs dot course ID equals course dot course ID and runs dot player ID equals player dot player ID. Do it again. There you go. So don't necessarily need to write it once. Write it, get errors, fix the errors until you get what you want. If you stay until you write everything, you might finish writing it and discover you are writing nonsense. So do it in steps. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. Then I think the second question, you're not using this. Yeah, we're using this. For each course that has been played more than once, the query should return the course code and name and the lowest score that has been recorded on the course. The results should be ordered alphabetically by course name. So for each course that has been played more than once, so you want to check the minimum score, right? I think one thing, this could be a bit complicated. There was something new that was introduced here. I don't know if we've seen this one in the previous exercise. Have we done this before? I can't remember doing this before in previous exercises.
What is that? Doing what?
Having this keyword.
Oh, okay. No, he just put it there. We've not done anything like that before.
Yeah, so
okay.
We should be expecting surprises like this. I don't know why that is, but this is one of the this is one of the surprises we will be expecting, because you won't even if you have all the materials from the class, you won't still know how to solve this, right? So basically, these are just some things, surprises. I don't know how to go about this, but I can just explain. Well, if we get a question that is showing what we've not talked about, because there are a lot of stuffs that we didn't talk about. They're here.
So you're thinking of introducing having counts greater than 2, right?
Yeah,
or having counts greater than 1, rather.
Yeah, that was why my own case. I think there are also other ways to do this, but this was what I did, and I don't think it provided the solution. But do you have any other way of going through this? Might be simpler than this.
No. This is what I was thinking too.
The first thing I was doing was that if that we were doing earlier.
Okay, the if else statement.
It was a bit complicated, and this was just easier than doing that if. So basically, it's everything we know before this. So let's write the query, then we'll come back to that having count. So for each course that has been played more than once, this is what we don't know how to solve right now. The query should return the course name, the course code, the course name, and the lowest score. So we want to select. Let me just
copy and paste.
Do you think it's going to be a nested query?
Nested query. Okay, in the exam.
Like this, solving this, that it could be a nested query.
Nested query. This is actually a condition. It's not like we are trying to show a data. It's just a condition. Let me see. Because nested query are used for getting child data, right? Getting child data. So we don't know how to solve this yet. Let's take this out for a minute. We'll come back to it. The query should return the course code. So select course cost dot. Do I even have cost code? I think I actually made a mistake when I was doing it.
You wrote cost ID, I guess.
Yeah, I used cost ID.
I saw all of them are using cost ID.
Cost ID from no, not from yet. Cost and cost name, then cost dot name, and the lowest score. Yeah, this is where aggregate comes into play. So this is an aggregate. It could be man, it could be max, it could be mean, it could be count, it could be average. Let me see, aggregate. Yeah, this is it. Mean, max, count, sum, average. So it could be any of these 5. Mean, it could be max, it could be count, it could be sum, it could be average. They are all called aggregate functions. So in our own case, they are telling us to bring the lowest one. So that's mean. So the lowest score. So we are just dealing with score. That's round dot score. That's been recorded for the course. Yeah. So we have just random course, right? So from rand course, where you do your this thing first, right? Where rand dot course ID equals course dot course ID. Now you can run this thing. At least this is your basic query. You won't run, but at least you will get somewhere. Okay, incorrect syntax. Where? What did I do wrong?
You didn't put comma there.
There's no comma between course ID.
Yes, after course ID.
Okay. So you should run.
It won't run. It won't run because of this aggregate. Oh, wow.
Course ID is invalid in the select place because it is not contained in either of the aggregate function or the group by clause.
When you are dealing with aggregate, right? Now, basically, if you remove this aggregate, let's remove this aggregate for a minute. You get these stuffs, right? You get the stuffs, bring in the round score. Comma round dot score. You get this thing, but now they are saying we should bring the minimum for each of these courses. So we have COW showing twice, but we want to show only one, right? Which means we will lose one of the data. We have 2 of it. We have 2 of POC and POC. We want to lose one of it. So if you just pick the mean, we need to find a way of grouping. Okay, we want to group COW and COW together. They are different data, but we want to use something to group them. Then once we group them, we can now say, okay, which one is actually the minimum between this group? Which one is the minimum between the group of POC? We have 2 POC to group the POC. So when you are dealing with average, when you are dealing with aggregates, you need to group. Now the clause there is that you now have to group based on what you're actually showing, right? So right now we are showing course ID and course name. So which means you need to group by the 2, not just by 1. You need to group by the 2. So this is the aggregate we want to use, mean. So if you do this normally, it won't work.
So you add group by.
Now introduce your group by course dot course ID and also course dot. If you introduce something else here also, say let me see, what can we introduce? Handicap. Where's handicap coming from? Handicap is coming from
Cost.
Cost. Okay, if you introduce handicap here, say cost dot handicap. Where is the handicap? Handicap is not cost. It's on player. Let's not use player. Player is another thing entirely. Cost. What do we have on cost? Okay, let's say club ID, for instance, or pass score. Let's say pass score. If you introduce this, then you still need to come here and introduce that same thing. Group. Does that make sense? Anything you have in your select must show in your group if you are using an aggregate. Does that make a bit of sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's aggregate, and I think it should work. Yep. So you can see I think we should have 6 before, but now it has been shortened to 3. We only have 1 cow, we only have 1 POC. It was grouped and one of it was put. If you are dealing with count, for instance, if you just count how many was in the group. You can see, right? So they say we should give it a name. They didn't talk about any name. You can just give it one as minimum mean score. Right, so you don't have this no column name. So mean score, and yeah, that's it. But then we now have to figure out how to do this for each course that has been played more than once. Right? So that is where this interesting bit of code now comes into play. Having count of rounds, like we are trying to count how many game has been played, how many rounds has been played. Rounds dot course ID has been played is greater than 1. So we count and we make sure it's greater than let me see, yeah, more than 1. So it's greater than 1. Then there's also order alphabetically by course name, then order by I think course dot name. Cute. Yeah. Basically, you can see that it has reduced because it's only, from our initial, let me write the query. From our initial query, there was 6. Then it was grouped. Then we had 4. It was grouped because cow act was played twice. POC was played twice. The others were played once, just once. So when we now do this having count, it counts, okay, how many times did you actually see cow? 2 times. Okay, that's greater than 1. Pick it. How many times did we see the HLK? HLK is just once. Is it greater than 1? 1 is not greater than 1. We ignore this. How many times did we see POC? This is POC, this is POC. That's greater than 1.
Anthony, sorry, let me interrupt you, Joma Binu.
No
Could
problem.
you break down this your code? It's too long. It's kind of hard to follow. Like where you are doing your select, let's let it be on its own. It's
Let's proceed.
thank you.
Where? Bring the where down. Select from where? Yes, better like this.
I'm a programmer, so the problem is we always try to maximize space. We don't want to use as much space as, but I'm sorry about that. So this is it. So where was I? I was talking of the count, where the count now comes in. So we can see 2 cow, we can see 2 POC. and we are saying we are trying to count where we have more than one play, more than one play in a particular, we are counting course ID, right? So this is course ID. So we count it. How many times did we say COW 2? Okay, it's greater than 1, we'll pick it. How many times did we say HLK? It's just 1, we will not pick it. How many times did we say POC? Twice, we'll pick it. How many times did we say PNC? Once, we won't pick it. That is what now brings out just this. So if you look at this answer, it goes to the question. For each course that has been played more than once, we know COW and POC was played more than once. The query should return the course code and name. The course code, the name, and the lowest score that has been recorded on the course. Then the lowest score. So from COW and COW, 74 is the lowest score, that's fine. POC, we have 86 and 80. 80 is the lowest, that's fine. Then the results should be ordered alphabetically by course name. Alphabetically by course name. Does this make sense? I think this is the only new thing that was introduced. And okay, one thing here before I go, these things are actually ordered. If you reorder these keywords, there might be error. Yeah. So I did telling you something wrong. So you have to understand that order too. Yeah. So you can't order like this, like where comes first, group by follows, having count follows. Order is always the last. I think there is also offset. Is it offset or limit? Can't remember, but I don't think we talked about that. Let me see if we have it here. Blah 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 blah. Insert, update, select, min max, wildcard. Yeah, this is also you've seen me use between. There is also in the sense that I'm just trying to see if we could cover all the bases for all the surprises that can come. They can tell you to return, okay, this is an example, return all the customers from Germany, France, and UK. So the question might come in the sense that return all the scores for cow and POC, right? So you can do where, you can actually do where course ID is cow or course ID is POC, or you can do in. So you can say where course ID in cow, comma, POC. It's used when you have a bunch of data that you want to compare something against, you can use in. There are sometimes that where that all might not work, that in will work, but I can't really of one now. But these are some of the surprises that can come in the example. I was looking for that select and I can't find it. SQL limit, SQL limit. They can say just yeah, offset. Is it offset or limit? I'm just not sure. Yeah, it's limit, not offset. Yeah, they can say just show one. So you know, runs for instance, select all from runs, right? This shows 6. We can actually limit it. Limit, we just want 5. Limit 5. Is that how to use it? Yep. Limit 5. Okay. Where condition limits, blah 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 blah. I'm calling it. Yep, that's how to use it. I just don't know. Okay. Well, SQL Server. This is SQL Server. SQL Microsoft Server limit clause. I don't understand this. Okay, I think this is what our data management people are the BI people are using, but I don't think I understand what is going on here. Pagination, let me see. Okay, I don't know. Offset 3 rows. Okay. I don't think this will come. This is getting too hard. But this is for almost all databases. It's just limit 5. Offset 5 rows. No, didn't work. Okay, I don't know this, but this might be. I don't know if I think these Yunus, you guys did it in your own class now. BI people. Oh, hold on. BI. Nobody is doing BI ever. Yunus, we are not doing BI. Still not working.
I took a break. What's the issue?
Yeah, these I want to limit the rows. I don't know how to do it in SQL Server. Like it's showing the equivalent of limit in other databases. It's not working on SQL Server.
Okay.
I want to do limit to 5 rows. You know how to sort that?
You want it to give you just 5 rows?
Yeah, instead of 6.
I don't recall that though. I don't recall doing that.
Yeah, no, it's not part of the. We've not done it. I'm just trying to cover some of the surprises that Rob can bring in the exam, but I don't think it will come though. So yeah, that's the. I think someone said. Sorry. They've released the thing for. They've released the, because this is where this question ends. There's no procedure here. So where's the procedure for it?
I don't know. We said they find them. I can't even find the actual question.
Jonas.
Okay. Go back up, please. Where there's a course and everything.
Yeah.
No, where you have the file for course, for club.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's under what?
Like
Lab 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a student.
Let's see this one. I want to look at the procedure too.
Listen, let's go. Hurry up. Go here. Hurry up. Let's go. I said I'm not going. You have to go with.
I think it should be this one. Let me load this.
How long will it take for this video to drop?
Which video?
The recording of this session.
When the finish process, it should be immediately though, because the exam is tomorrow. I will try and load it immediately after the class.
Thanks.
So procedure. Yeah, this is it, right? Have you? You're required to write a procedure called total score. Okay, so this is a procedure. You're required to. Are we still here? Okay, we're still here. You are required to write a procedure called total score. The procedure should take a player ID as input and output their total score for a competition. The score is calculated relative to par and average over all ranks. Example score calculation for mini driver. Who's mini driver? Okay, this guy. That's interesting. I know we have 1 minute driver here. Player. Oh, okay, yeah. Example, so 79 at new course. So that's 79 at new course. That's fine. Is 79 minus 73 equals 6 stroke. Wow, this is getting complicated. Where's 73 coming from? Oh, the pass score, Abi. Yeah. So, okay, 80 minus 73, 80 minus 71. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's pick it. So, create a procedure called total score. The first thing is let's find out how to write procedure. If you go back to, I can't remember which lecture is that. Anybody remember? Remembers?
I think from 5.
5.
That's very short though.
Oh, we'll just check it. I think one thing I will actually do is download, once I enter the exam hall, download all these things first. Open
Please, I
all
have a question. Are these labs going to be available, like our lecture notes, are they going to be available to us?
Lecture notes will be available. I'm not sure of labs.
I think he made the labs available.
I'm just not sure, but it should be available. Okay, so this is what we need. Procedure. Blah blah. Okay, just copy this. Paste it here. Let's copy the question. Where's the question? This is a question.
If you copy tomorrow, don't forget to delete them.
Sorry?
I said, if we copy all this things tomorrow, don't forget to delete them. After code,
Oh, no. Actually, you are to edit what you copied. Don't just copy it and leave it there. Edit it. That same thing you copied. Don't leave it. Just edit it directly.
But I think copying the question like this and put it here asterisk this way won't be a bad idea.
No, this is not bad. Even this one, you can still copy it and leave it there. It's not a bad idea. They will just laugh when they see it. See this stupid book. They will just laugh when they see it. It's not really bad. It's not. But make sure you comment it out. If you leave it plain, that's -2. Okay, so you're required to write a procedure called total score. So our procedure is total score. The procedure should take a player ID. So procedure should take player ID. Let's just say player. No, that's fine. Player ID. And player ID is what? Player ID is actually nchar4. Okay, so nchar4, that's fine. We are not giving it anything. As input, because it's an input, that was where I cleared that we don't if you want a default value, you can leave this, but they didn't say anything about default value, so that's why I'm taking it off. They didn't say anything about default value. So player ID as input and output their total score for the competition. So we don't only want 1 as, so we need to write our select now. Okay, I don't need that distance. It's just as select total score. So what is total score? The score is calculated relative to par and average for all records. So how do we get total score? How do we get total score? Total score is calculated like this. Okay. So the total score is calculated relative to fan average overall. So we know each of the scores, so we can actually just take it one by one. Select score from ranks. Now, one thing you want to do here when your query is complicated like this, you might write your query first and do the procedure later. So you can come and say, write your procedure, make sure it's working fine. Select score, because I don't think I understand what's going on.
Random score.
We'll figure it out. Random score from ranks where player ID, player.player ID, right? Player.player ID equals, let's just steal one for now. PO17, let's use the example, equals this, right? We introduce player here, player. So we get the score, right? You are required to write a procedure, and also, okay, one other thing, you need to say where ranks dot player ID equal player dot player ID. Execute, so you get 79 and 80. That's the score for that player. Then we want to get we want to do some mathematics here. So we want to have rand.score minus score, no, cos. This 73 here is the cos par score, which is this. Yeah, par score is coming from cos, yeah. So cos dot par score, right? Rand dot score minus cos dot par score as what? As the relative. Let's just call it relative for now. We are still working on it. Then we introduce cos here and also here, and rand dot cos ID equals cos dot cos ID. All right. Equals, bros, equals, not minus. Yeah. So we get this. So we get 69. So we're at this point, but we want it as just one. So we want, I think that is where this now comes into play. Okay, we get for each one, but we need the two, right? We need the two to have an average. Let's have, yeah, we can do average. We can do sum. We can do some, just hold on, we still get there. It's just you walk through this thing. Basically, we are getting the two things as different values, but we want it as one. So we just add these two things together, right? So sum of these two things, right? Sum. Let's see if it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Then divided by the count, the count of rands dot Course ID. Okay, let's break this thing down. It's getting longer.
Yeah.
That gives you 7 point. Yeah, expecting 7.5, but it gives you 7.
Yes, should be 7.5.
Yeah, so I think I don't know what approach to. It's taking off the decimal. Taking off the decimal is taking off the decimal. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Let me see. I'm not sure why that is happening. Should this is interesting. This, let me try this. But at least for getting here, you should have half mark. But the decimal is now the issue. I'm not sure of that. Casts, then we put all these things. He actually took it off. It's 15/12, 15/12, 7.5, not 7. That's wrong. Okay, let's try something first. Select 5/2. 7, no, 15/2. Oh my mail. Is that showing as 7? Format, number, decimal place. Let's try that for the last time, but format, number, comma, decimal place. Nope. Okay, this is something we should have asked since so. Anybody has an idea?
Do we try using average?
Average.
Yeah.
Average. Yeah. Average. How do we average of what? That's a problem. Average of what? Because this is what we have right now. Right? This is what we have. Sum of this over count of. So how do you apply average? Average of price from product. Oh, okay. Let's try that. Average of cannot perform an aggregate on an aggregate. Average is an aggregate, sum is an aggregate, so seriously, I have no idea. Comma of relative. Does this make sense?
You might need to split it.
This one now. Somebody's already.
Hello?
I have no idea.
Or you may use aliases.
Sorry?
You may use aliases. Like the value for the sum, use an alias. The value for you already used an alias there.
Yes, it's not working inside the average.
Then that one will be
We are getting the answer. It's not like we don't have the answer, but it's not when it's a decimal place, then we're in trouble. Right? So we could say count. Right? If you say count of rounds dot course ID, you get your answer, but it's taking out the decimal. It's taking off the decimal.
What do you want your output to be? A decimal.
7.5.
Right?
Sorry?
You want your decimal to be your output to be a decimal.
Yeah.
Did you set the output as a decimal in your procedure?
No, I did not do that.
You have to do that.
Okay. Thank you. Let's go and do copy and paste someone. Yes. So output as decimal, where is that?
You see where at pay, money, output. So that is going to be at decimal output, what we are looking for. In your create procedure.
Okay. So you have this, then you put your okay.
Color the data type.
Oh, I'm not inside the procedure actually.
So what?
I am not actually in a procedure.
Oh, I thought you were. Sorry.
I will take you back to a procedure, and I was just trying to do it outside the procedure first. Total score. That's decimal, right? Then I need to bring this
outputs,
comma at total score output, right? Then I need to bring this in. Hold on, that needs execute, right? No. What are they doing here?
Go and check the solution for the lab the last mock that we did. You'll get a better understanding of procedures compared to what you have here.
Okay. There's not this one. It should be this one, right? This is the pizza stuff.
Yeah.
Procedure. Topping costs, money, output. If this is this, set stopping cost equals go. Oh, okay. So what we need here is decimal. We won't be needing this. As set set at total score is interesting stuff.
I don't know.
Keyword select. What's going on? Equals. Oh, it's in bracket. Fascinating. Bracket. Okay. Procedure line 8, blah, blah, blah. Let's just do copy and paste. Okay, so we have create or alter. We can just use it actually. Create or alter procedure, total cost, right? Total score. Copy name, player ID, enter 4, and total score, decimal output. As we don't need the if, we don't need the else, as total score equals select where player ID equals player ID, right? Then see what happens. Execute. Yep, perfect. So execute.
All right, now let's go back and
no. We still find out what is going. I just want to check.
Now that you found out what's happening, so you can try to break it down from the beginning.
Yeah. What are we using? P017, right? No.
What?
Oh, this is. I was looking at what was going on here. He's expecting.
What's that?
Yeah, it's saying he's also expecting total score to be supplied.
Execute total score. I'm coming. Let me see what's going on here.
See it here. Create of the alter procedure. We supplied player ID. We supplied total score, which is money output. That was the same thing, but it's now seeing this also as an input.
It's seeing total score as an input.
Yep.
Coming.
Oh, okay. Oh. Interesting stuff. Call me. Score output. Fascinating stuff.
Okay, so this should work.
Probably. Nope.
Cannot use the output option when passing.
Give up.
That cannot give up.
So we have our total topping cost is total score, right? Which is decimal. Executes total score, right?
Okay.
P017. Sorry, I've actually not done this particular part before. I'm just in the question. Takes a bit of okay. Yeah, it's still coming out as.
You got 7.
It's still the same thing as what I had before. I give up.
Tomorrow we'll just give the man.
We wouldn't be the answer.
Something I can ask before that exam tomorrow. See, how is they getting this 0.5 here? Because they actually just got to question.
You can email him.
How about you write your
This will still give you the same answers.
What if you write your okay? It won't even work that way.
Because I know I might not remember all this wuru tomorrow. Let me try if this is still valid. This is what I know as set this. It's actually yeah, bro. Okay. Okay. So execute total score to P017. Just to come out as the same thing. So basically, let's just take what we know today. Then, when I get the answer, I can always update. So basically, this query itself is something that needs explaining, right? But okay, let's take it again. You want to write a procedure, right? I think I will go with but this is, I think this is correct, right? Or do we have to do it this same way?
You said what?
Do we have to do it like this, or this is also correct?
Baba wants us to give him a decimal.
No, I'm talking of decimal. I'm talking of the procedure itself. You know, this what he's doing here is different from what I did here. Where is it? Yeah, it's different from where is it? Yeah, it's different from this one. What he did is different from this. I'm not doing all those. Did I still put output? Where's the one I just did now?
I can answer that question. No. Okay.
Yeah. Look at this total.
Okay, this is your own.
Yeah, this one. Just create your procedure, supply your input, put your query, and you get your answer.
Okay. Well, it can give you the same thing. What is just after is that shall I give him answer?
I don't know.
Your for this group already.
Your own is looking fine. My own is not looking fine.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Aside that, but basically this was what you taught in class.
Like, if that's what I said, I was telling you that when the man does something, sometimes you go follow, and by the time you can go see a solution, it will be like say, you don't know what
changes everything.
You know that day, that was the same problem I had when I came to you, and you were like, it doesn't matter that so far you get it, that there are different ways of writing a query. Sure, you understand?
I don't think it matters though. But one thing I'm just worried about here is one is coming as a message, one is coming as a result. Well, I don't think it matters as long as you are getting your answer.
But this don't get decimal that we don't know how we want to do.
This one is add. What he's doing here is add.
This first part, it just use it to set the what is it called? You use it to set the whole template for the next one.
But following what we've been doing from week 1, right? All those execute SP column table, we don't do all this declare. We don't do all this print. Nothing concerns anybody with all these other new sharing. Okay. It's execute, go. That's
You don't carry on. I think not talking about waiting in one video. The best thing is execute do this table to the best of your ability. Even I know that for me too, now this procedure if you break my back. Sure you understand. But at least if you do every other thing very well, go to your quiz. Do your quiz well too.
Because it shouldn't break, the difference between this and this shouldn't be an issue because you're getting your answer, you're doing your calculation right, and they're calling the procedure. So why declaring something and telling seriously, I don't understand the concept they are trying to.
I don't understand what they do for there.
I don't understand this because I was just basically because trying to do this tomorrow might actually cause issue. You might forget.
I swear.
In fact, it should be the last thing anybody should attend tomorrow.
Then you start messing things up.
Yeah, it's the last part now. It's the last part of your assessment.
I mean, like after the quiz, you just come back and say, okay, let me see what I do.
If you say so.
Okay, let's just walk through the query so we know it's just getting the final answer. You can use, I won't say you should use one. You can use anything. Either use this one. If you can cram this one before tomorrow, go and cram it and use it. This is our top option. Well, I'm not going to use it, but this is the correct answer. But if you cannot cram this one by tomorrow, just stick with what you know. This is what I know for now.
And the man has not released the solution, have he? And the man has not released the solution.
This is the solution now. The solution is add.
Where is the solution?
Where is Siam?
No, this one, he has not released the solution for golf.
Yeah,
no,
I mean for golf.
I don't know, say I just the one that we have now for see golf yesterday. One now for see golf. It was just now when it was clear, I was like, Jesus. So this thing is on our Moodle. I just started working on it now.
Okay, so let's look at the query. What was I trying to do here? Let me bring it out again and look at it again. Okay, so select sum. Basically, this is just like reverse engineering, right? They gave you a working example, reverse engineer it into a working code. So basically, you already know that 79 from your list of 79 is coming from, where's 79 coming from again? Okay, 79 is coming from ranks. 73 is coming from cost. So they are doing rand minus cost. We give you your relative, Does that make sense? So rand minus cost. 80 is coming from rand. 80 is coming from rand. 71. If you check the cost is the pass score is okay. What is POC? Okay, POC is 71. So what they are doing is checking. Let's take it one by one. Select
POC na code na course code now.
Exactly. Select course ID, comma rand, no, comma select star. Let's just do star. Select star from course and rand for now. Course rand, where rand dot course ID equals course dot course ID, right? So we get everything. We know that. So we are dealing with player ID P017. So where and rand dot player ID equals P017, right? That is the example. So you have this. So you have 73 as pass score, 79 as score. So that's 79 minus 73. You have 80 as score, 71 as pass score. That's 80 minus 71. So the first thing you want to do is try and figure out how you do this calculation. So you say select sum. Is this sum or it's not sum? Oh, okay. Interesting stuff. So sum of, that's interesting. I didn't even know what I was writing. You can actually do calculation inside your sum. Fascinating stuff. So sum is not just for adding up values. You can, okay, not sum yet. You want to do your calculation first for each of them. Pass score, score minus pass score. So there's rand dot score minus score, is this score? Cost dot pass score. That gives you 6 and 9. We're at this point. 79 minus 73 has gone, 80 minus 71 has gone, so we got 6, 9. So you want to now come here now, 6 plus 9. So that's where the sum now comes in. Sum. Like you want to add the 2 rows to just give you one aggregate. We should have drew group by, but we don't have any other field here, so we don't need a group by. That gives us 15. Then we'll go ahead and divide by the count of everything. So you can't just say divide by 2. Right? If you say divide by 2, if it's more than 2, then you are in problem. If it's less than 2, you're in problem. So that's why I'm using count. So it will count the whole row. So before we were getting 2 rows, right? We were getting 2 rows. So the count here will be 2. So if I bring back sum, so if I now divide by the count of, I just divide by the count of ranks dot course ID. So this is expected to be 15. This is expected to be 2. Then we have 7.5 that these are something helping us to format to 7. We'll figure that out. Does this query make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, the first thing
Yes.
is query the
At least it give us insight.
Yeah, query the whole thing. Do your filter normally. First thing. One. Jesus Christ. Select. Let's take it one by one. Select all from runs and runs, comma, course. That's the first thing you want to do because they are dealing with runs and courses. Then where runs dot course ID equals course dot course ID, right? And using the example they are using here is this guy. Where's the question again? P017. So let's use P017 where runs dot player ID equals P017, right? This gives you this thing. So you can now start your reverse engineering. You already have the values. Okay, 79 is coming from score, 73 is coming from pass score, 80 is coming from score, 71 is coming from pass score. So you can easily rewrite your query and say, so instead of just bringing everything here, let's just bring what we need. The score minus the pass score. So score minus per score, right? So you can see it's coming down. So 79 minus 73 is 6, 80 minus 71 is 9. We are getting there small. So next thing you want to do is add the two together. You can see we are done with this part. So what we need to do now is to add 6 plus 9. So that's where sum comes into play. Sum what's going on? Oh. I have copy nonsense. Oh, okay. Sum. I was editing on some. So you get this, then 6 plus 9 gives you 15, right? So 15 divided by 2, we know 2 is count, so we can just write 2. So select divide by 2 normally, but it's not 2 that we want. We want the count of everything, count of all the runs. So runs, then pick any column, just pick the primary column. Then you get your stuffs. So if you look at it, you have this is your whole thing. You break it down, 79 minus 73, which is the formula you are following. 79 minus 73 gives you 6. 80 minus 71 gives you 9. Then 6 plus 9 gives you 15. 15 divided by 2 gives you 7.5, but we have not figured that out yet. Does this make sense?
Very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
So this is your final query. So yeah, that's it. I will try and see if I can figure. I will also send him a mail, or I will try and see if I can figure out that.
Please just send it to us the way you break it down like this. I think.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
Okay.
We'll break it down, did you know? Live
your voice. Yeah.
Chat. Is on the chat.
Procedure.
Glove.
You now have to put this in a procedure. So to put it in a procedure now, you now do create or alter procedure. name of your procedure is total score, right? Total score. And they said the procedure should take a player ID. So you need to supply an input, player ID, give it a data type, enter. The data type will be coming from the player ID at the top. We know the player ID at the top is 4. Then if that's the only one, it's only collecting player ID. If it's collecting more, you just do command, add every other thing is collecting, but it's only collecting player ID. Then you put as, then you go ahead and just copy your stuff, put it inside, and that's it, you're done. Create, execute, then go, then execute to test it now. Oh, okay, you need to do something here. You know, we are using an hard-coded value here, so you need to change this hard-coded value to your input, which is player ID, at player ID, right? So we are not testing it, we are using it live, so we can do this.
Please, can you re-explain that one? I don't understand.
Yeah, basically what we had here before was P017. So every time you are executing this total score, it will be giving you the data for P017. We don't want that. We want it to be dynamic. We want the person to supply the player ID for us. Then we do the calculation based on that player ID. For your own, okay, you might want to do 019. For another person, it might be P011. You get, but if we leave it like this, even when you put P011, let's do it so that you actually see what I'm saying. Total score, right? Then I put, what other P0 do we have? P001. P001, right? You discover it's still giving me the data for P017. It's still giving me the data for P017. That's not what we want. We want this P001 to be passed here. And you can remember we already declared a variable here. So we can bring in that variable here instead at player ID. Does this make sense? We are just bringing in the variable we declared here, slotting it into this where clause. So we don't have to use an hard-coded data. Then you run it again. Execute. Go. Now it's different. You can see now it's telling us it's 11. So let's calculate for that guy. P001. Who's P001? So P001 has 3. That's 85, 77, 86. So 85 minus, which one is COW? 85 minus, let's see if we can do the calculation. So the first thing is 85 minus COW. COW is 72 minus 72. The second one is HLK, 77. 77 minus, what is HLK? Minus 70. So 77 minus 70. The third one is POC, that's 86. 86 minus POC, what's POC? 71 minus 71. So this should give us 1, 3, right? This should give us 7. This should give us 1, 5. I hope I'm correct. Yep. So that's 13. 13 plus 7 plus 15. That's 20, 35. That's 35. 35. Yeah, 35 divided by 3. 35 by 3, that's 11.6. 11.6, which is why we are getting 11.
Sorry, what about the decimal? The point.
We are missing now. I don't know that yet. I will try and find out before tomorrow and update the class if I get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's so if you want to check for another person, let's check for 3-3. 2-3-3. You just change this one 2-3-3, and you do your stuff. You get so that's it. That's procedure. So this is your last. This is the one I sent earlier. Is not your last query. This is what you are submitting. Chart. So that's procedure, and that's the. Yeah, you have a question. Just you're saying you have a question. Hello. We can't hear you. You can put it in the chat if your audio is not. If we can't hear, you can just put it in the chat and I'll read once I get it. Okay. Do we have anybody with any question based on what we are doing? Do you have any question? Anybody else? Okay. So there's no question. We all understand. We all understand what we have here. Tomorrow is the exam, so this is the time we can talk and see. At least I'm still here for some time. We can see how we can all help each other. So if there's anything I need to go over again, let's do it. It's fine.
Yeah, you really break the question down with this. You first do it with query and bring it to procedure. That's very good. But can we see another question? If you can also use query to break it down before taking it to procedure, because I think the way you did it is it's more explanatory.
Basically, right, most of the time, what they will be expecting you to do is to write a procedure for a particular query. Let's go back to some of the labs we had before. Topping, for instance. Let's go back to that toppings.
Okay, the query inside this pizza.
Yeah, that pizza stuff.
If at least you can use procedure to use query to answer it first.
Nine on 9. No, that's not the one. I'm trying to. What did I? 2. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I won't go. I'll just go to the procedure. Right. So creates. We've done one. So price of fish has increased and black oil has decided to increase by 10% the price of all non-vegetarian. So I'll go to my app. Use the pizza underscore. Execute. Yep. Okay. So the price of fish and meat has increased, and Black Oil decided to increase by 10% the price of all non-vegetarian pizza topping bought as extra toppings. Pizza price will remain unchanged, as will vegetarian toppings. Write a code to create a stored procedure, total topping cost, which will return the cost of a topping specified by name. So this is, let's start with that. So create a total procedure. What's the name? Let's copy it. Okay, so create an update procedure. We'll call it total topping cost. Right. It's which will return the cost of a topping specified by name. So we supply the name of the topping to it, right? So topping name at topping name. I think we can just use mvoucher, I'm not sure, mvoucher 50, depending on the mvoucher 50. We applicable, right? Code that calls the topping cost procedure for the sausage topping and displays the result. These are just examples. So 10% increase. So the first thing is we want to check if it's a vegetarian meal. The price of fish and meat has increased, and Black Oil has decided to increase by 10% prices of all non-vegetarian pizza. So we want to check if it's non-vegetarian. You remember your tables, right? Let's just go back to all the tables. Execute SP tables. So we have check. So we have chef, we have pizza, we have toppings, then we have as toppings. Okay, so this is how we specify a vegetarian. So if it's non-vegetarian, that means it's 0. So for our query, let's start with our query first. Okay, for this one, it's where you actually introduce an if statement, right? And I'm coming. Okay, it could. Let's write the query. Actually, we might not use if. We might not need to use if. So select just the price, right? The name and the price, name of topping. Where is topping? Where's topping? Yeah, this is topping ID. Hold on. Return, which will return the cost of a topping. Just the cost of the topping. Okay. Select topping costs. So this is topping, right? We just need costs. Select costs from toppings. Yeah, actually, we need an if statement. So we'll come back to that in a minute. Because you want to, if it's a vegetarian topping, you just want to return the cost. If it's a non-vegetarian topping, you want to return the cost plus 10% of the cost. But basically, this is what we want. Select cost from toppings, where topping ID equals, let's say TO1 for now. TO1. Okay, they are using name. So name, where name equals sausage. So where name equals sausage, right? So this is the first thing you want to do. Topping, not toppings, topping. Right? That's the price of that particular topping. So you can now bring it in and say, okay, that's the price for a vegetarian topping. Like if it's just vegetarian, for the 10%, this is the 10% one. Select 10%, right? 10 over 100. 10 multiplied by just 0.1, I think. 0.1 multiplied by sorry. Okay, let's go on. 0.
Anthony,
Yeah.
sorry. I think there is an error in what the man did though. That place where he wrote 0.11, because he was requesting for 10%, and then he gave zero. It was in his solution he was using 0.11 for hash toppings.
Sorry, before we take that in a minute, I think I found the solution to this.
You found the solution, Abby?
I found the solution to this problem.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I think I figured out what's going on with this one, which was actually what I was trying to do here earlier. Format, that's show decimal places in SQL. This one. I was just formatting the wrong thing. Control. What am I doing? This is not good. I don't know what I'm doing. Where am I? Yeah, right? Yeah, I'm here. Oh, Jesus Christ. See. Control X. Right. P017. Perfect. I was formatting the wrong thing. What's going on here? I'm coming now. I still don't know how it works, so just bear with me while I figure it out. it's a work in progress, but okay, that's too long. Don't mind me. I'm just playing around to see if I can. No, I don't. Well, at least this is one way there. Just to so basically, what happened was I was formatting the whole string. So it's like in Java, you are trying to do 2.2 over 2. You remember that complication in Java, 2.2 over 2? Anybody remember? Hello?
Yes. You 1.0. Yes.
Yeah, you are trying to divide right now. This will give you okay, both of them are whole numbers, so we can actually cast both. Hold on, let's cast both of them actually. Cast as decimal. I'll explain what no comma. Let's just go back to default to okay. So basically, right, what we were doing earlier was
Can you try it otherwise? Like that 10 to 2, it should be 2 to 10.
I think I tried something like that earlier.
No, she said, bossy be 2 decimal places.
2 decimal places.
So
no, create table, let's change.
Nope, it's not. Okay, let's just see. Cast SQL. Cast as I need cast as decimal. Mm. 8/10 as 8 decimal. Convert. Okay, let's try convert instead. Convert. Decimal 16.4. Okay.
We're close.
Still not bringing out. Still not breaking this thing down.
It reduced the number of zeros now. Let's keep going. Try it away.
Sorry? That's float.
Could you go back? Let me say something.
Sorry?
I was like, could you go back? Let me, that page.
Oh, okay. I'm coming.
Should you go on? Okay.
Yep.
And it gave us. So I was supposed to cast.
So cast, you have to basically what we were doing earlier was this 15 over 2. You get 15 over 2. Integer over integer will give you integer.
Yeah.
So all I needed to do was convert one of them to a float.
So that we'll get a float.
So that we get a float as a result. So that was just the problem with the initial stuff. The initial stuff was we are doing integer over integer. It will always equals to integer. You get. But now, if you now convert, if you now do something like 15 over 2.0, it now sees this whole equation as a float. But the mistake I was making earlier was I was casting the result. I was only casting the result. I was now casting 7 instead of casting this one. So, but now what you want to do is to cast one of them, either this one, or even both of them to a float, and you get your final answer. Does it make sense? This is how to cast, right? This is how to cast. Let me write it here so it makes sense. So basically, this was what we were doing earlier. Now we change it to 15 over cast 7 as a as a float or as float. No, sorry, 2. Does this make sense now? 15 over cast 2 as a float will now give you 7.5.
Yeah, yes, Anthony. If you could please test it on the right one in the chat.
Where was I writing it? I think I deleted it at some point.
You can just write the query, and this alter and stuff will do it ourselves.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Right, then player ID select. So I just cast one of them. It could be this, it could be this. So you could actually cast this. Cast as float. Do that again to be sure we're still good. 0.17. That's it. Sorry for taking you back. I just remembered. I think I saw something here that made me remember that. So
that's nice. Thank you.
Back to ask toppings. So select cost from toppings where name is sausage, right? It gives us this thing. The prices of toppings. Yeah, this one. Don't mind that one. 0.5. That's the price of sausage. Then, if you want to calculate that of, let's say this is non-vegetarian, this is vegetarian, for example. So vegetarian, right? This is vegetarian. Now let's write for non-vegetarian. Select. So they said non-vegetarian has increased by 10%. So we need a way to add the 10% to it. So cost times 0.1. Actually, it does it.
Hello, Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to take you back to the store procedure for the Gulf.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you saying if we have declared the data type during when we are creating the table, instead of integer, if we have used decimal for scores and per scores, do we still need to do casting?
Yeah, if you've used decimal, you don't need to cast.
Okay.
You don't need to cast.
Because when you
go to that Visual Studio Code, that's when I understand that, okay, the data types are integers. So
yeah, they are integers. I think they're actually integers. You have to check. Is cost right? Is it cost?
They are integers. It's just that there's a remainder. That's what's causing the confusion.
Yeah, they are all they are all integers. They're all integers. So you can't actually. I don't know if it will mark it if you change it to decimal, but that's up to him. So this gives you that of vegetarian, that of non-vegetarian, non-vegetarian. Right, so if you do this, let's do the two so you see the difference. So you can see something has been added to this one. About another 0.5 has been added. So that's the 10% that we added. So now what you want to do is, let me see if I can write this thing. If select my vegetarian is correct. Let me understand again. Okay, vegetarian. If select vegetarian from topping, where name equals topping name equals, I think it needs to be in brackets, so equals 0 or equals 1, right? So if vegetarian equals 1, we want to do, God knows I can't write this thing. Let me copy and paste somewhere. Where did we do if? That should be if. Hold on. Anybody knows how to write if from their head? Let me just continue, right? I'll fix myself if there's an error. So if that is that, then
iPhone chargers.
This is the non-vegetarian. Okay, this is the vegetarian code. I copy this, paste it here. Else, that will be the non-vegetarian own. I'm sorry, yeah, the non-vegetarian own, the one with 10%. And that's it, basically. All I need to do is to figure out this if else. They need to name this lab This is not good. Let me check lab 4. MySQL. What is the meaning of MySQL? Now bring killers. I'm just not sure if we'll have access to that, to the labs. I don't know if we have access to the labs in the exam, so I don't really that. Somebody should tell me I'm doing this thing here.
If the man is dropping the lecture notes, no much code in the lecture note. It's only the lab.
Much code in the lecture notes?
Yes, now. It's only the lab. So if he's dropping lecture notes, people will suffer.
This is not good.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for if else inside lecture notes.
It's only in the lab, and the man will not even
only lab. It is in the lab.
So you can
check lab 5.
Check lab 5 and all lab. This is one of the new statements.
Execute. There's no if else here. Nope.
Try lab 2.
Okay.
This is not good. This is not good at all. Oh my God.
This is just to open everything available. You open all of at the end. You open all of them before you start. Is that here? No. Let's go to 3. I don't want to use Google, so we actually know what we know and what we don't know.
You're right. Yeah. Let's just check what do we have and not what we don't have.
Is there lab 3? No. Let's go to 4.
It should be lab 2 or 1 because Esther taught me the if else statement. And it was about if the students pass.
This is
sorry, that's Java. Sorry. The if else statement, right?
I think I'm actually correct. I just needed to be sure. That's it at the top. I want to see if there's another one. This is 1. Okay, if we can confirm that, but I think I'm correct. Let me just confirm from my previous work. Open files. This is not good. Is that constraint? I don't think so. Yeah, this is a if blah blah blah.
This is lab 4.
This is lab 4, yeah, constraint.
I think tomorrow is only leaving the labs, not the lecture notes. So it's good for us to know what is where.
Seriously. Is there in 3, check 5?
But I'm actually opening this lab 4 here, right?
Is there in 5? Let me check 6. Okay, so yeah, it's what I did is correct. I just needed to be sure. I was trying to make sure if I was trying to check if there is anything in front of this, but this should be correct. So okay, where name is topping name. Okay. Go. Still don't know what this go is doing. Execute topping cost. Sausage. Okay, is sausage. Sausage is sausage is okay. It's non-vegetarian, so we added the stuff to it. Let's do for what's the other one? Pineapple. Oh, okay. We need to add the name too. The name. Name. Because it says write a code to create no. Yeah, write a code to create the stop procedure, which will return the cost of topping specified by name. So the cost and the name. No, it's just there's no name there actually, just specified by the cost of the topping. We use name to do the specification, which we've done here. So we don't necessarily need to return the name. So we're fine. So you can see that that of pineapple. Where's pineapple? Pineapple is vegetarian, so pineapple's price stays the same. But out of sausage, which is 0.5, which is non-vegetarian, increases. So that's what you want to write. The only thing we're introducing here is the if. If, then what is the if? The if is this thing. Decided to increase 10% of all the non-vegetarian pizza. So if non-vegetarian, increase the price, else just, although I did it the other way around, if it is vegetarian, meaning select vegetarian from topping where the name is the name we supplied equals 1. So if vegetarian equals 1, then we know it's a vegetarian, we won't do the plus 10%. But else, if it is 0, for instance, we don't need to do if it's 0 again. We just do else since it's just 1 and 0. We've done 1, we just do else. So if it's not 1, it will definitely be 0, which means if it's not vegetarian, it will definitely be non-vegetarian. So else, add 10%. So cost plus cost times 10%. So that's what gives us 0.55. Does that make sense? Hello? I was still here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically,
Confused.
in cases like
You're
you can.
You're confused.
Okay, let me take it again from the top. The first thing we want to do is understanding the question. You understand the question that, okay, for vegetarian pizza, the prices the price of the topping will still be the same. Black oil has decided to increase by 10%. Let's start from the beginning. The price of fish and meat has increased, and Black Force has decided to increase by 10% the price of all non-vegetarian pizza. So we are only increasing non-vegetarian. So that tells you we are going to do an if-else statement. If it is vegetarian, we add 10%. If it's non-vegetarian, we don't add 10%. So the first thing you want to do is write the query for each of them. If it is vegetarian, this is the query. You just want to bring out the cost. That's all. If it's non-vegetarian, you want the cost plus 10% of the cost. So this is 10% of the cost. You get. Let's run it. So you can see this is the normal cost, 0.55. But when you add 10% to it, you get this. If you remove the plus cost, just want to see the 10%, you can see 0.05. That is just the 10%. But we need the whole cost, which means the 10% plus the cost. That gives us 0.05 plus 0.5, which now gives us 0.55. So once you have your query for the two, the vegetarian query, the non-vegetarian query, you can now start. So if it's a vegetarian, we already know that vegetarian is denoted by 1 and 0. If it's a vegetarian, meaning if vegetarian equals 1, then it's a vegetarian. Then we just copy this code, paste it here to know that, okay, this is the code for the vegetarian. Else, which means when this thing ran, let me show you what happens here. Okay, let me just copy it out. So see. So this will either give you 1 or 0. That is what we are saying. You can see it's just this code I copied. So you are saying if this whole thing is either 1, if it's 1, then give me the vegetarian query, the vegetarian price. If it's not 1, give me the non-vegetarian price, which is the increase of 10%. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it's good. But please, if you are copying it, help us to copy the query with it.
Sorry?
The query at the top. This vegetarian and non-vegetarian.
You can pass them in the chat as well.
This one, right?
No, and the select that is up. Copy it with it.
Don't need to
use query to explain it before doing the procedure.
Okay, all these ones, ba?
Yes, thank you.
But you don't need all those ones in your exam. This is the only thing going in. Create or alter.
Yes, I know, but the way you used to explain it, at least the query, you use the query to break it down.
Yeah.
Before bringing us, at least if someone can still understand that method.
Yep.
Anthony.
Yep.
One thing I've realized between these two queries, one has if and else and one does not have. And I can read through to make me understand when do I choose if and when not to. Perhaps it's something that you can a bit just go over quickly and be done with it. Because you can see from the other one, we didn't go because there was no that comparison, is it?
So basically, right, here they are just telling us the procedure should take, you are required to write a procedure called total score. The procedure should take player ID as input and output their total score for the competition. The score is calculated relative to par using this. This is not part of the question. Right, don't confuse this. This is just an example. So this is where the question ends. So this score is calculated relative to par and average over all ranks. So just looking at the question, you understand that, okay, they want us to print out something. But here, they are saying print out something for vegetarian. If it's vegetarian, print out something. If he's non-vegetarian, print out something. So they are trying to make a comparison. So that gives you an idea that, okay,
yeah,
the result will be different depending on something.
Yeah.
What is that something? That something is vegetarian, is that equals 0 or equals 1. Then that tells you you are doing a control statement.
Yeah. That's what I was.
Yeah. This is just straightforward. Print out the total score. But if they now say print out the total score if they played it in Amsterdam, then you know you are dealing with an if statement.
Now this man tomorrow he shouldn't bring us Wahala, man. I'm telling you, he shouldn't bring something else and to Wahala us in the exams. He should just bring something closer to what we understand.
We just hope for the best, right? We hope for the best.
Yeah.
Our just advice is start this stuff, mind the time. When you discover you have about an hour, if you're not done, leave it where you are, go and do the quizzes. Finish the quizzes, then come back. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, any question? Anybody with any question?
What time is the exams tomorrow? Is it 10?
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Okay, where are we using for the exams? Which hall?
Actually,
where do you use for that?
I think N55, N53. N532.
N532.
33. Where we had the mock
Okay,
exam.
where we had Java. Yeah.
Yes, where we had mock, Java mock.
Okay.
Hello, Anthony.
Yeah.
Now, for this, how are we going to do it? Hope they will allow us to write exam. Those who have not paid for their tuition fee.
Please come to school early and go to student services to confirm what they have in store so that you won't be going back and forth. Just as you are entering the school, go to student services, confirm what might happen when you can go for your exam. But definitely you will write the exam, but make sure you confirm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right now.
Thank you very much, Anthony.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is the recording going to be posted?
Sorry?
Please share the recording link before you're leaving, bro.
Yeah, I'll do that once it's done. I was trying to say something. Come to the exam early. Come with your ID card.
Okay, yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah, very important.
Very important. Yeah.
Right. And if you have any question between now and the exam tomorrow, please reach out to somebody, reach out to a friend, reach out to me.
Okay.
Somebody,
Anthony, I have a question. Anthony.
Yeah, sure. You can send me a message on WhatsApp. I'll respond as soon as I can.
Okay.
Now, my question is how to save those answers when you are done. How to save it? Sometimes I always have challenge for that.
Yeah, let's take that. Let's take that.
Please, Tony, please, are we gonna have this video sent to the group?
Yeah, I will send it. I will send it.
So that is very important.
Thank you.
Very, very important.
So
how to commit and how to save it.
Yeah, your questions will tell you the kind of files you need. So you have the create file, you have the populate file, you have the query file, you have the procedure file. So the create is going to take care of all these ones. So you want to split it, right? Take this 2020, for example. You want to split it.
Ask your mommy, come out now and answer it. He's asking you a question. Is this your baby? Both of you's baby.
One come out some more. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What did I do?
I mean, when you finish, let's say let assume that you finish query now. You will press Ctrl S to save it, Abi?
Yes, but make sure they are saved inside the correct. Hold on, inside the correct files. So basically, the first thing you want to do, they said all your code containing all required tables. Code contains the code to create all required tables. So basically, you want to go to, I think they should answer the questions I was asking earlier. Just tables. You don't need database actually. So just your tables, right? So everything, just create club, create course, create player, create rank, Control C, paste it inside a brand new, there's nothing inside, paste it. Or if that's where you are starting, but that should be the only thing inside it. Save, Control S, tells you to do this, and create a folder and put everything inside the folder.
Hey, so sorry, Anthony, sorry. When you press Control S, it brings you to this place. Are you going to press new folder?
Yeah, so if you press Control S, you can do new folder. Let me see.
New folder, that is new folder up here. Up.
Okay, that's a new folder. This thing can be complicated at times. Well, it's an exam. It will be an exam folder, though. It will be an exam environment, so you might not necessarily need. The folder might be empty, but if it's not empty, I don't know why the folder doesn't create. This one has been created before. I don't know why the folder doesn't create. See all the folders I was creating since. So basically, what you can do is this: Control S, click on new. If you can't find the folder, let me delete all this one so we can start again.
Okay, better. Thank you.
Delete. I don't know why it doesn't update immediately. Delete. Cancel. So Control S, right, brings you here. You don't have, you click on new folder, you can't see it, just cancel, do it again. You will see the new folder. Then you can just do rename. Rename to exam, right? It will still not work. I don't know why. Do it again. You will see your exam. Then go inside it and create. Just type create. Make sure this is showing as SQL. Then save. That's your create. Then another new query again. Where is it? All your populate stuffs.
Okay.
All this insert, copy everything. Insert, take it to the new. You can do so you don't mess things up. Once you are done with, don't keep multiple tabs open here. So anything you are done with, save it, close it.
Okay. Control S again.
Save it, close it. I'm done with create, save it, close it. Now this is the new one I'm doing. Save it. Okay, I need to go into exam and call
inside
it.
the exam, Abi? Okay.
Populate, then save. Once you are done, save it, close it.
Okay.
Start. So query, you create a new stuff for it also. Go into where is it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I know where but just copy the, if you can find, let's just say these are the queries. Copy, paste it, save it.
Control S. Okay.
Query, Is it query or queries? Make sure the namings are correct. Queries.
Okay.
Queries. Save it. Close it. That's it. Then your procedure too.
Okay.
Copy. New query. Save it. Proceed. Yes. Procedures or procedure. Procedure. Save it. Close it. Then for your submission, let me see. Yes, we should submission. Yeah, I think it's just one. You don't need to put it inside a folder or anything.
Okay, you don't need to put inside folder.
No, like the folder is just to make sure the folder you created earlier is just to make sure you don't mix things up. You can see that if you go to I have multiple creates, I have multiple populates.
Okay.
Although I don't think this will apply in the exam, but it's just go to make sure everything you are doing is inside. Okay. But when you are submitting now, let's say you are submitting, you click on the Dropbox, it will bring out something like this. To bring out something like this, then you go into your exam folder if you're not inside it, and you pick it one by one. You pick create, you open it, it uploads fine, uploads normally once you are done with that. Not like you submit or don't submit, just upload.
Okay.
You go back to that, upload again, like there will be an upload button somewhere. Click on file, click on populate, upload. You will see it listing, create, updates. As you're uploading it, it is uploading them one by one. So once you've uploaded the 4, you now click on submit.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
No worries. Do you have any other question? Let's log everybody.
Please don't forget to drop the video back.
Yeah. Yep.